Then we come to our next part in Exodus chapter 18, and we're going to pick it up at verse 7. When Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed down and kissed him, and they asked each other about their well-being, and they went into the tent. Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them and on the way, and how the Lord had delivered them. Then Jethro rejoiced for all the good which the Lord had done for Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, "Blessed be the Lord, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, for in the very thing in which they behaved proudly he was above them." Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and other sacrifices to offer to God. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. And we know God will bless the reading of his word. And here in Exodus chapter 18, we come to the story where the story is told. Here we see in this chapter the Red Sea is already parted, the miracles have already happened, the water from the rock, the manna in chapter 16, the water from the rock in chapter 17, and of course the defeating of Amalek in Exodus chapter 17. Here we see Moses tells the story, and something just as important takes place. Hearts are moved, faith is awakened, and community is formed. This passage begins not with preaching but with humility. Moses goes out to meet his father-in-law, and they greet. He bows down to him and kisses him, and they ask about their own well-being. Moses, a leader of an entire nation, he has spoken with God and confronted Pharaoh, yet when Jethro arrives, Moses bows, embraces, and asks him about how he's doing. Before testimony, before teaching, before worship, there is relationship. This moment reminds us that meaningful conversations begin with honor and respect. People are more open to hearing truth when they first feel valued. Proverbs 18 says, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly." Moses doesn't start with authority, he starts with humility. Secondly, we see Moses tells the whole story. Once relationship is established, Moses begins to speak and reminds them of all and recites all that God had done. Notice what Moses includes: what God did, what they suffered, the hardship, and how they were delivered. He doesn't tell a filtered version of the story. He includes the struggle, the pressure, the pain. This matters especially for those who struggle with faith. The Bible does not pretend life is easy. It acknowledges hardship and points to help beyond ourselves. The psalmist captures this spirit. Psalm 66 verse 16. "Come and hear, all you who fear God, and I will declare what he has done for my soul." Real stories, honest ones, have power. Third thing is, we see shared joy over another's deliverance. Jethro's response in Exodus 18 verse 9, "Then Jethro rejoiced for all the good which the Lord had done for Israel, when he had delivered them out of the hand of the Egyptians." Jethro wasn't there when the plagues fell. He didn't walk through the Red Sea. But when he hears the story, he rejoices. This is the beauty of shared joy. Deliverance doesn't have to be personal for it to be celebrated. The New Testament echoes this truth. Romans 12 verse 15, "Rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep." Joy multiplies when stories are shared. Gratitude grows when we celebrate what's happened in someone else's life. Then fourthly, I get a confession from the outsider. Jethro has a remarkable reaction in verses 10 to 11. Jethro is not an Israelite. He is a priest from Midian, a different belief system, yet hearing Moses' story leads him to a confession of faith. This is important. Jethro is not argued into belief. He is not pressured. He is persuaded by what God has done. The invitation of faith has always been experiential. Psalm 34 verse 8. I will taste and see what the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who trusts in him. Faith begins when people see, hear and reflect on what God has done in real lives. And so in conclusion, these verses, Exodus 18, 7 to 12, remind us that faith is not about miracles, it's about telling the story of the well. Moses honors relationships, he tells the whole truth, joy is shared. Sometimes the most powerful moment isn't when deceived hearts, but when someone says, tell me what happened, then the Italian hearts open, gratitude rises, and God is honored. Thank you for listening.